So the other big news from Monday Night Raw, the other big return that was unannounced, was a big surprise to many people, was the return of Batista. Now we didn't know what was going to happen with Batista because he said, "I want a match with Triple H. That's how I want my career to end." But Triple H seemed to be off the shelf for a little bit because of that match. I believe it was the crown jewel match where I believe he tore his bicep, right? And he
Yeah,
got
he
injured.
took a bump over the top rope
That
towards
that that
bicep.
match was awful, by the way. It was one of the worst matches I've seen this year so
I
far.
actually didn't get to finish all of it, but yeah, it wasn't too great. I thought it would be better, but that
Shawn
was my
Michaels hasn't
mistake.
been in the ring for what 8 years now or 9 years, and he was the best one out of all those guys. Like they all were tired, and I mean
But that's not
Triple H
saying
is
much
usually
because
good but he got injured in the middle of the match, so that was why that Undertaker is. Well, we might talk about Undertaker in the future, but we know about him. He's really gone downhill. But that's he's old. He's older than my father at this point. Like he's almost as old as my dad, so you can't expect him to move around too well. Kane is just Kane. He's a mayor, and he just doesn't give a shit. He just he's just Kane.
he's there for Knoxville, Tennessee's money.
But we expected Triple H to be out of WrestleMania, so that would be like, okay, what's gonna happen with Batista then? But apparently Triple H is good because they're starting this program with Triple H. Now I don't know what to think about that because I mean, how many times have we seen Triple H Batista? I know it's different because Batista will be the heel and Triple H will be the good guy, but I don't know. I just feel like he could have. It's what Batista wanted though. It's not WWE. It's Batista said, "I want Triple H," so that's what he wanted in order to return. But I'm not too excited about this match, to be honest with you. Triple H is going to go over, Batista's going to retire, and that's just going to be it. I assume
You think so?
he'll have a few matches, like he'll have like maybe a couple Raw, SmackDown matches just to get back into it because he did say, I don't know if it's still true today, but he said if I come back, I want it to be like a full return. I don't want it to be like a part-time, one-time thing. Like I want to have a lot of matches, but I don't know what they're gonna do after. I mean, he just turned 50 years old, and I know age isn't everything. I mean, there's some guys who wrestle good at 50. I mean, Sting was having good matches until a few years ago, and he was like, when did he retire? In his like late 50s, right? And he did have some good matches in TNA
55.
because he was pretty old. Um, so age isn't everything. I understand. Batista's also not as worn down as those guys. I mean, he's had a few injuries, but he's also been out of the game for a while. Like he's been in WWE since 2002, but how many of those years has he actually wrestled? Like about 10 of those years, not even. So he's not in as bad shape as like even John Cena, who's 10 years younger than him, but has been beaten down so much. So I think Batista can have a good run if he really wants to. Age isn't everything, but he did say that he wanted Triple H to return, and that seemed like that was going to be
Uh,
his last match. I don't know who else he could fight. I know Lesnar would have nothing else to do after he hopefully drops the belt to Seth. Then again, we thought Rome was going to win last year's Mania, so we can't be too certain about the Universal title and Brock Lesnar. But I do think that that would be a good like send off match, retirement match if he really plans on retiring. I don't think Triple H would be a good, but then again, you do know the whole thing is Triple H is probably most likely going to go over. So if Batista wrestled after that match, it would kind of tarnish his reputation a little bit because I mean he's supposed to be the animal and he lost to Triple H. So I don't know what they're going to do with
no, I
Batista.
don't think so. I don't agree with you. I'm actually pretty excited for this match. And even if he lost and came back, it wouldn't tarnish anything. Okay, so obviously, yeah, he's 50, but I'm sure he could still go. And
So
we,
is Triple H. I mean, don't
yeah, they've only had, I think, three or four, well, three big matches together, and they were not bad matches. Like, they were quality matches. I feel
Batista's
as if
actually
this,
older than Triple H by a few
yeah,
months.
no, it's just crazy to think about. I think this is going to be an interesting feud. I mean, the whole segment on Raw was so unique because they they introduced it as if it was just a normal, fucking party, and then the clock. I don't remember the exact time it was, but Raw doesn't do runovers anymore, and so it's like 10:56, 10:57, I think. And I'm like, all right, Ric Flair still hasn't come out. Like this is a little weird because I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Is it going off the air at 11? I guess it's gonna continue on the network. And then after that, Batista fucking drag. By the way, him dragging the cameraman was the most funniest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Um, But then it was a well written segment. It got me excited for it. The crowd's into it. I think it's going to be a good match. Triple H can still go. Batista, I mean, he did good in this run 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I know that's 4 or 5 years later, but still, it's in still good shape. I
Yeah,
think it's interesting. It's going to make money.
yeah, definitely. I think no matter who his opponent is, Batista at this point is a bigger star now than he was 5 years ago when he last wrestled for WWE. So his stock is higher than ever. I mean, everyone was talking about Batista coming back because, again, he's a big Hollywood star. You did see what he said about The Rock, right? How Rock is not a good
No,
actor. He said that The Rock is a terrible actor, pretty much, and he was serious. Like he said, The Rock is not a good actor. He says he's a great actor, and The Rock is not.
he's not fucking wrong, but whatever. That's a
I mean, The
different
Rock is.
subject.
Have you ever I can't name one serious role that The Rock has had. Like it was just him being The Rock and being sexy. You know what I mean? Like he's not really a serious actor. He's just in these action movies and he does
The
stunts.
Rock plays the same role in every single fucking movie. So,
Batista as Drax is hilarious. I'm not
yeah,
sure
no,
about his
Batista.
other movies, but as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy, he's hilarious.
As Drax, he does a great job.
He does an amazing job, and he's like the funniest. He was the funniest of Infinity War. He was the funniest part of that movie, and
Yeah, of course. He's the funniest thing in all of them.
you did have Chris Pratt and Thor. That was also another funny scene. But no, Batista as Drax was the highlight of that movie. He's the highlight of every Marvel movie he's in. But I think that this is probably going to be his last run. I don't know what they're gonna do if he's gonna retire at WrestleMania. I'm
I think
not
he
sure what they're
is.
gonna do because it would be kind of like a wasted opportunity because he has been trying to get back for a long time and for him to only be back for 2 months. Or not even 2 months. WrestleMania is a month from now at this point. I think he's gonna stay longer.
I
Uh,
keep forgetting that we're going. By the way,
yeah,
I
I
keep,
was thinking
keep
about that.
I don't. I don't know why, but I just don't. I don't know. Anyways, point being, um, I I think he's retiring at Mania. I mean, cool. If him and Brock had a match, it would be cool. Don't get me wrong, but I don't care for it.
I would
I
care about
more
that
want to
match
see.
more than Triple H and Batista, to be honest with you,
I
because that is a
wouldn't.
match we've seen so many times before.
I don't. I. You know what? I don't.
We've never seen
I would.
Batista and Brock. I know, you might not be into that match because it is Brock Lesnar and Batista, but I think it would actually be a good match. They have the similar backgrounds. I mean, obviously, Brock had a more successful MMA career than Batista did, but I mean, they have a similar wrestling style, which I guess is why you don't think it'll be a good match because it'll just be two big guys just spearing each other or beating each other up.
Brock historically does not have good matches with big guys in this second run, other than the matches he had with Undertaker. Not at WrestleMania 30, but the matches
The
he
Hell
had
in a
at
Cell.
SummerSlam and the Hell in a Cell. Those were still really good matches. But every other match he's had against a big man has not been good. Braun Strowman, Kane, Big Show was a fucking squash.
Yeah.
Um, no, him and Joe had a good match. That was good. It was a little disappointing, but it was still good. But his
But
matches with
Joe is
Punk,
also a technical wrestler, and so is Brock. Batista is more of a brawler type. He doesn't really have a technical wrestling background.
yeah, but Batista's just as big as him, and I don't want to see the matches with Punk, with Cena, with Finn, with AJ, with Daniel. Those are really good matches. They play the David Goliath shit.
Well, then
When it's
again, you
someone
never
who's
know. You never know. We thought Kevin and AJ would be great, and those were terrible matches. You never know how well two guys will mesh together.
I mean, they had one match back in OVW, I think it was called.
Yeah, well, you can't
I mean,
compare that.
obviously, yeah, you're right.
That's
You're right. I
2002.
don't
We
know.
were barely. We were in preschool at that point.
We live in 2019. What am I saying?
But
Yeah, I don't know.
I would look forward to that match. I think that would be a good way to send him off. I can't think of too many other guys that I guess you could feed him to Roman.
Uh, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that feud. I think that would be a good match, actually. I really do. Roman, dude, Roman has great match. Whatever. We already talked about Roman. Roman's the goat.
Yeah.
But
But
no, I don't see him going. I don't see him doing it after. I mean, unless they offer him big money. Like you said, his stock has never been this big before, so it would make sense for him to go on. But I don't think he would want to go on. I think he wants to end it with Triple H, unless he wins at Mania, or even if he loses, and then they have another match at SummerSlam, which would be the final match.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'd go out like that. I think he's going out at Mania.
Okay. So that's about it with Batista, right?
Batista's got a big dick.
Yeah, but overall, we're looking forward to Batista coming back into WWE. We've always liked him, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, we're gonna be live at WrestleMania. We're gonna see Batista. I've never seen Batista live before, so that's something I'm
I've
looking forward
seen
to.
him fight Punk at the Great American Bash in '08, and I remember absolutely none of it.
I wasn't even a wrestling fan back in '08.
Oh, the pyro, yo, the pyro made me piss my pants. Like when I was a kid, like his pyro is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, well, if he's a heel, I don't, is he gonna do the entrance with the machine gun, or is he gonna be like, "Give me my spotlight"? Because then he doesn't do
Oh,
pyro.
maybe
Who knows?
you might be right.
But we'll see. Overall, it looks to be a good run for Batista, but we'll see. Definitely better than 2014 because that was not good.